Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we're gonna talk about something serious. There was this kind of movement going on online about a week ago called metoo that was exposing the actual rates of sexual harassment among the female population, and I found that really helpful and really moving, because seeing that so many women have been touched and have experienced sexual harassment, it's really, it makes you open your eyes and realize how society actually is and how dangerous it is for a woman to actually go out in public and be on her own or even in company, because it's always at risk of being sexually harassed. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about my experience with sexual harassment and share my Me Too story. So as most women, I've been sexually harassed, and I've been sexually harassed like most people. My sexual harassment story is really similar to that of many women and to that of many men, because let's not forget that also men can be and are victims of sexual harassment and domestic abuse, domestic violence, rape. Men can be victims too, and they are victims too. So let's not forget about that, because often people try to diminish that. They treat sexual harassment towards men as something minor, when it's actually really important. It should be treated exactly as sexual harassment towards women, because we're equal. I believe in equality, in gender equality. I believe that men and women have the same rights. So also sexual harassment, it's really important, even if it's towards men. Just because society tells us that men are stronger and men can defend themselves, it doesn't mean that sexual harassment towards men is in any way less serious or less worrisome than sexual harassment towards women. So let's keep that in mind. So now that I've said this, I'm going to share with you my story. As I said, it's really similar to that of many women, and I've been sexually harassed more than once. For example, I'm going to tell you in particular this one story. Once I was in uni and I was we had lesson up until like a 6:15, and we spent like 45 minutes, 1 hour maybe, talking with a teacher after lessons, because it was me and another group of people from my class, and we were talking to this teacher about a lot of things, because this teacher actually lives abroad, so he would come once or twice a week just to have the lesson and then go back to his country. And we were talking about the differences between countries and how things work where he lives, how things work here. And we were talking about culture, this kind of things. It was a really cool moment. Anyway, so it was around 6:15, as I said, when the lesson ended, and we talked for about an hour. When we stopped talking and the teacher left, we all went our ways. And keep in mind, my uni, I don't go to uni anymore at the moment, but my uni is like 4 blocks away from here, maybe even less. It's like 4 blocks. So it's really close, and it wasn't that late, because at this point it was around 7, 7:15, so it wasn't late. It was around June, I think, no, maybe April or something like that. Anyway, there was still light. It wasn't dark in any way, shape, or form. There was still light. There was still people around. So it wasn't like going out at 1 at night all by myself. So I was coming back home, and I was in this I took some kind of really residential street to come back home. Like there's cars everywhere, and in the middle there's this really empty, really residential, calm, peaceful street, and I like to take it that way because it was really relaxing for me. And then I turned the corner and I found myself in the street with cars and all of that. I was heading towards home. It was like less than a block away at this point, and I see some guys coming towards me. It was three of them, three or four, three of them, and they were coming towards me, and there was a car parked on the sidewalk. And in Italy, that's something that a lot of people do. It's not legal, but people still do it anyway. And they were going towards their car, and we were walking opposite directions. So we were facing each other. I was going this way, they were coming this way, and their car was parked here. So I was like, okay, they had kind of a weird look in their face, but I didn't really think much of it because, like, I'm a little paranoid when it comes to meeting people on the street. Like, I always think that someone is gonna harass me or try to rape me. So I was like, don't worry, it's just three guys going to their car. Because usually I would take my phone out and call someone, so I'm on the phone, and it makes me feel a little more in control of the situation. So in case something happens, I'm on the phone and I can tell someone right away. I didn't do that day because I was thinking that maybe I was thinking too much of it. They didn't have weird looks on their faces. It was just me thinking that everyone was gonna sexually harass me. So yeah, I didn't do anything. I just kept walking straight. I didn't pay attention to them, and at some point they stopped next to their car, and I walked past them, and I didn't even look at them. I didn't do anything weird. I wasn't wearing anything revealing because, as I said, it was April or something, and yeah, it was starting to get warmer, but here it's northern Italy, and in April at 7 in the night, you still have to wear something because otherwise it's gonna feel quite cold. So I was covered completely. In my upper part, I was wearing jeans. I was wearing the same heels that I've shown you in yesterday's video, the black ones, the black platforms. So nothing slutty, and anyway, that shouldn't justify any form of sexual harassment, because if I wanted to, I could go out wearing just a bra and a pair of shorts, and people should not feel free to harass me or call me names, because that's not right anyway. But just to make it clear, I wasn't wearing anything revealing. I wasn't even wearing that much makeup. I was wearing maybe mascara or something, not even a lipstick. Or maybe I was wearing a lipstick, I don't remember, but that's not the point. I walked past them, I didn't even pay attention to them. They stopped next to their car. They looked at me, I could feel their eyes looking at me, and they didn't say anything for like a couple of seconds. They just stared, and I could feel them staring. And at some point they were like, oh, look at that cute girl. Oh yeah, she's really hot. Hey babe. And they started calling me. And I was just walking straight. I was like, okay, don't pay attention. They're just acting stupid because they're around friends and all of that. They jumped in the car. And at this point, I just had to cross the road to get to my house. So I was rushing it, and I was really worried because it was three of them, and the main door was closed because the reception was closed at that time. So I would have to take my keys, find the keys, open the door, and all of that. So they would have had the time to do everything they wanted, because even if I was closed, I still had to open and do all of that stuff. So I was really worried. I was rushing. These guys jumped in the car, and thank God the reception was still open because something happened. So I just ran inside, and these guys like literally were going with the car. They were following me with their car. They looked at me going inside. They were looking at me from the windows, their car windows, and they said, "Oh no, she went inside." So that made me think that they were actually trying to follow me and do something. I don't know what they wanted to do, but that really scarred me. I cried for like an hour because I got so scared. It was three of them, and the way they stared at me, the way they called me cute, hot, and all of that, the way they were trying to catch my attention, and the way they followed me with the car, it was so scary because they could have done anything. They could have literally raped me and no one would have known. And that was such a scary thought for me. And it was awful. It was terrible. That was a really scaring experience. And that was just one, oh my God, excuse me. And that was just one of the many, many sexual harassment experiences that I've had. I've been called a bitch by people I didn't even know. I've been called a slut. I've had people trying to approach me on the internet, asking me for sex. I've been people asking me for sex in exchange of money. That's a form of sexual harassment. You don't ask people for sex. You don't ask people for paid sex. You don't ask people to prostitute themselves because that's not right. You don't call people names. You don't tell someone that she's wearing something too revealing. You don't tell someone that she looks like a slut. You should do none of this. It's wrong. And that happened to me so many times. Once I've been followed in the supermarket by two guys. I've been followed, and thank God there was another exit, and I took the other exit, and I just went all around the supermarket to not cross ways with them anymore. But that happened to me. I've had people staring. I've had people whistling, catcalling me, people in the car. That's wrong. That's wrong, and it shouldn't happen. So it happened to me too. And if you guys, girls, whatever you are, whatever you identify as, if you are sexually harassed, if you are a victim of sexual harassment or abuse or rape, I know it's hard. I know it's really, you may feel ashamed like it's your fault, but it's not your fault. It's those people's fault. They're the wrong ones. If something like this happens to you, reach out to someone. Tell your family, tell your friends, tell your partner, tell someone, and then do something about it. Don't let these people treat others the way they treated you, because one day it's catcalling and one day it could be rape. So please don't feel guilty, don't feel dirty, don't feel ashamed, because it's not your fault, and reach out, because that way we can help so many people and you're gonna find a way to forget it and go on with your life. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was kind of a serious one, but I felt like I needed to talk about this because it's something that a lot of us experience, and I think the more we share our experiences, the more other people are gonna feel brave, the more they're gonna feel like, oh, if that person did it, I can do it too. So let's speak out and let's stop sexual harassment altogether, and let's not put each other down. Women, do not put each other down. Don't put other women down because of what they wear, because of what they look like. We're all the same, and we should fight together because it's a common fight. It's something that affects all of us. So we should fight together. We should stand together and not, put each other down at every chance we have. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want, share your experience. And as I said, reach out if you need help, and talk to your friends, your family, someone who you know will help you. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye everyone.